Hello again, hope everyone's doing well. Today is episode 5 of the top 10 highest selling AFL cards of the week on eBay, and today's video is going to be a tad different. No video this time. I'm going to try doing a voiceover because it's so hard to film here in New York with the traffic and the rain and everything in between, so it might be easier just to do the voiceover on these videos from now on. But to start the video, before we get into the list, I found a feature on eBay where you can check the sales data for the past week and the past year. So I think this is a really cool thing to add at the start of the videos. I think it'll be a great way to check if the footy card market is expanding because it tracks the number of sales and also the money value of sales. So I'm going to put up the weekly figures for this week. The amount of sales was 297,752. Now, I think this week's quite high because of the Optimum 2022 release, obviously, so it's not just single cards being sold, a lot of sealed boxes as well are being sold this week. And now I'll put up the yearly one, and this is $6,316,509. At face value, that seems like a large amount of money, but a single card in America has sold for more than this. I think multiple single cards have actually sold for more than this. So the AFL card market still has a long way to go, in my opinion, and hopefully we can see this number trend up in future videos. But an interesting thing on this graph, you can kind of pinpoint where the new releases have come out. The biggest one being Supremacy, because that's the most expensive card and the most expensive box as well. So you can see a big spike at the end of 2021, and then a big lull in the off season as well. Okay, so now that's finished, let's get into the list. And I have decided to split it up 5 and 5 this week. 5 Optimum 2022 sales and 5 other sales, just because the Optimum 2022 sales would have been the whole list, and that's not as exciting to me personally. So let's start with Optimum first. In 5th place, we've got Jason Horne-Francis's Platinum Draft Pick Signature, number 3 out of 40, and this one sold for $655. This one, he's the number 1 pick. He has changed clubs, which definitely hurt his collector base on both sides, but number 1 pick, Platinum Draft Pick Signature, a low number 3 out of 40, 655 seems pretty reasonable. Like, I don't think it's a great investment, but at the start of a release, I think this is a pretty good price in the grand scheme of things. Number 4, we've got Josh Gibcus's Platinum Draft Pick Signature, numbered 27 out of 40, and this one sold for $707. This is, again, it seems like a weekly thing where we see the Richmond tax in full effect, but I think Gibcus's price has definitely been positively affected by the club he plays for. I'm not sure how he stacks up on the field, so I'll have to watch him next year. But $707, a very strong price for a Plat DPS. In number 3 spot, we've got a Bulldog in Sam Darcy and his Platinum DPS. This one is numbered 24 out of 40 and sold for $709. Similar sale to the Gibcus and the Horne-Francis. It's all in the same kind of ballpark, and that's what you expect when you've got these big names and big young players. You expect them to be kind of in the ballpark, but not this next one we're going to get into. So in 2nd place, we've got Nick Dacos and his gold DPS. This one's numbered 80 out of 85 and sold for $750. So you can see Dacos' second best signature sold for more than Sam Darcy, Josh Gibcus, and Horne-Francis' best signature. So I can't say this is unexpected, but it definitely is a big statement to show how strong his collecting base is. And I think I might have to make a separate video about how his copper DPSs have sold as well, because the price of those things has blown me away. And I can't remember any card that shocked me as much as the prices those have gone for at the start of this release. But that brings us to number 1, once again, Nick Dacos and his Platinum DPS, numbered 13 out of 40. This one sold for a huge price, $1,868. Before the release, I expected this to sell for about $1,200, so it definitely blitzed my expectations. But to be honest, I'm more surprised probably with how the lower end, the copper DPS sold, than this plat. I mean, if the copper's selling for $600, then the plat should definitely be this $1,800 mark. And it will be very interesting to see how everything slots in the coming weeks. So that is the Optimum top 5. No huge surprises, but definitely some huge prices. Let's now move on to the other section. We've got a tie for 5th place or a tie for 4th place, however you look at it. Coming in first, we've got Caleb Poulter's Supremacy Rookie from 2021 Supremacy Rookie. And this one sold for $157. And it's numbered out at 85, this release. This one perfectly shows the stark contrast between last year's rookies and this year's rookies, and how hype plays such a huge part in determining the price. Poulter plays for Collingwood, a very popular team, and he did impress in a few games last year. So it just, like I said, it shows the steep drop off once players lose their hype at the very start of their footy card career. The look of this card is great, and if there happens to be a top player coming out of this 2020 draft class, I think these cards will age super well, so it might be a good deal in the future. But as we know, most players don't turn out well. So tying him for 4th place, we've got Camden McIntosh and his DPS from 2013 Prime. This one sold for $157, and the DPSs that year were numbered to 280 copies. Notably, this is the same DPS year as Ollie Wines, the Brownlow medalist, but other than that, I don't think there were any big names to go along with them. Camden McIntosh, he's kind of just a role player for Richmond, but he is a dual premiership player, and he's going to be coming up to his 150 games this year, so a good card to have as a Richmond collector. In number 3 spot, we've got another Richmond card, this time Trent Cotchin and his gold DPS from 2008 Classic. We've had this card on the series before, so we know it's numbered out of 400, and this time it sold for $189. Last time it sold for $199, so that this seems like about market value, that $190 to $200. In 2nd spot, we've got DGB, Denver Granger Barras, and his Platinum Draft Pick Signature from 2021 Optimum. This one sold for $252, and the Platinum DPSs this year were numbered out of 40. I'd be interested to know if anyone remembers what this card sold for at release. I remember he was a very popular player from that release, a very high selling player, so I would hazard a guess that this has gone down a bit, but I'm not 100% sure. It is a great looking card, and probably not a bad time to get it as well, as people's heads are turned towards the New Year's Optimum. So that takes us to number 1, and number 1 for this week is Chris Judd and his Silver DPS from 2002 exclusive. This one sold for $256, and it's numbered out of 650. When this one comes up in conversation, I always tell people there's 2 versions. There's this silver one from 2002 exclusive, and then the gold one from 2002 SPX. And I think people always get them confused or don't know the difference. So the difference is the silver one is numbered out of 650, the gold one is numbered out of 225. To me, that's a huge difference. However, they don't sell that far apart in value. So this one sold for $256. I would say a gold one at the moment is about $300, maybe even $280 on a good day. So I'd pony up that extra $50 and get the gold one personally. But when you compare the price of this card to some of the newer cards with players with much more rookie cards, I think it paints a pretty good picture of the value of this card, even at this price. So that's all I've got for today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe. I think about only 50% of the people who view my videos subscribe, so I'm slowly edging my way to 100, and it'll be good to make it there. Other than that, I will see you next video. Cheers.